Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English story. I worked hard every day, building chariots with my hands, but I was still poor.
No gold.
No peace. Just tired bones and broken hope. This is my story, and it might just be yours too. My name is Bansir, and for most of my life, I was just a chariot builder in Babylon. From the outside, people thought I had it all together. I had skill, steady work, and customers who respected me. But deep down, I was tired. Not just tired from shaping wood and hammering iron, but from working so hard and still never feeling free. One hot afternoon, I sat alone on a low wall near my workshop, just staring at the unfinished chariot in front of me. My tools were lying beside me, untouched. I should have been working,
But
my heart wasn't in it. All I could think was, why, after all these years, do I still have so little? My hands were calloused from years of labor. My clothes were worn. My savings non-existent. I didn't want riches for greed. I just wanted peace of mind. To be able to feed my family, enjoy simple comforts, and not panic every time a debt came due. As I sat there lost in thought, my old friend Kabi, the musician, passed by. He smiled when he saw me, but then stopped when he noticed my face. Bansir, what's troubling you? He asked. I looked at him and said the words that had been burning inside me. Kabi, we're both getting older. We've worked for so many years. And yet, what do we really have? You play music beautifully. I build chariots with care. But we're still as poor as ever.
why?
He didn't answer right away. I think he was thinking the same thing I was. We had both accepted this life as normal.
But now,
I was done pretending that struggling was okay. I said quietly, we never learned how to keep the gold we earn. We know how to work, but not how to grow. And that's when something inside me changed. For the first time in years, I felt hope, not from a lucky break, but from the idea that maybe, just maybe, there's a way out. A smarter way. And we both knew where we had to start. Arkad, our old friend who had once been just like us, but somehow became the richest man in Babylon. Part 3. The truth we never knew. The next morning, Kabi and I walked through the busy streets of Babylon. The sun was high, merchants shouting, donkeys braying, but I barely heard a thing. My thoughts were on Arkad. When we reached his home, it was exactly as I remembered, beautiful,
wide.
but simple. No gold on the walls,
No silk curtains.
just calm. Wealth without noise. A servant greeted us. And not long after, we were sitting across from Arkad himself. He hadn't changed much. His beard was a little grayer, but his eyes were just as sharp. He smiled when he
Saw us.
My friends, he said warmly. Still building fine chariots and sweet melodies? Kabi chuckled. But still not building any gold. Arkad leaned back and nodded. So, you have come not just to visit but to ask questions. I spoke then.
Carefully.
We work hard. But at the end of each month, we have nothing to show for it. How did you change your fortune, Arkad? What did you do that we didn't? Then he said something simple. Something I never forgot. I learned to keep 1 coin out of every 10 I earned. I blinked. That's it? He smiled. That's how it begins. Gold slips away from the man who spends it all. But it comes gladly to the man who saves, even a little, and puts it to work. I felt foolish at first. Could the answer really be so small?
So simple?
But as he spoke more, I realized this was exactly what we had never done. We earned. We spent. We started again. Always chasing. Never keeping. That day, I saw that I hadn't just been poor in gold. I had been poor in wisdom. Part 4. One coin changed everything. The days after that conversation felt different. Not because I had more money, I didn't. Not because I stopped working, I still built chariots from dawn until dusk. But because, for the first time in my life, I had a new rule. Keep one coin out of every 10. At first, it felt strange. I'd always believed that if I had little, I couldn't afford to save. But Arkad had said, start with whatever you have. Gold grows when you give it a reason to stay.
So I did.
Each time I was paid for my work, I took a single silver coin and placed it in a small leather pouch. I kept hidden. It didn't feel like much. But over time, that pouch began to feel heavier. Kabi did the same with the few coins he earned from his music. We'd meet in the evenings sometimes, laughing like boys as we added our little pieces of treasure. We weren't rich, not yet. But we were no longer helpless. And Arkad didn't just tell us to save. He taught us how to make our saved coins grow, by lending them wisely, by avoiding foolish promises, and by being patient.
Gold,
He said, is a servant to the wise, but a master to the careless. I was beginning to understand what he meant. For years, I had chased money like a man chasing the wind.
but now,
I was building it slowly, quietly, with purpose. No one on the street could see the change. But inside,
I was no longer the same man.
I was not just a chariot builder. I was a student of wealth. I was a man with a plan. And that made me feel rich already.
Part 5.
The day everything began to change. Weeks passed, then months. And slowly, everything began to change. Not just in my coin pouch, but in how I thought, how I worked. Every day, I still built chariots, but now I worked with more heart, because I knew a part of that pay was building my freedom. I wasn't just earning for today's food. I was earning for tomorrow's life. Akabi kept playing music, and he too walked taller, joked louder, and dreamed bigger. We often returned to Arkad's home, and each time he gave us another piece of the puzzle. How to avoid losing money to sweet-talking traders. How to make gold work for you, not just sit. How patience grows wealth better than panic. These were things no one had ever taught us, not our fathers, not our teachers, not our friends. Yet here we were, learning them as grown men and grateful for every lesson. One night, as Kabi and I sat on the same low wall where this journey began, he turned to me and smiled. Remember how we used to sit here, full of complaints and empty pouches? I laughed. Now we sit with hope and heavy pouches. That night, I realized we were not rich men yet, but we were no longer poor. Because we had something even more powerful than gold. We had wisdom and the will to change. And that, I believe, was the day we truly began to live. Moral of the story: hard work is not enough if you don't learn how to keep and grow what you earn. Many people spend their whole lives working hard but remain poor, not because they're lazy, but because they never learned the rules of money. True wealth begins not with gold in your hand, but with wisdom in your mind and the decision to start small, but smart. Thank you so much for listening. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep dreaming and never stop noticing the beauty around you.